while Dalton's influence represents the potential for redemption and renewal. Or maybe I'm overthinking it.
Seen it once, don't remember when. Think it's time to watch it again. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop the last Friday. It's a Matt, forgot that. It's a Matt, forgot that. It's a Matt, forgot that podcast.
Welcome to the Matt Forgot That podcast, the place to recollect and reminisce. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to rewatch and review a movie or TV pilot that I've seen before but don't quite remember. It could be a blockbuster, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Before we start, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences have recently announced that members will be required to watch all the nominated films. Which begged the question, what the hell were they doing? I mean, with the way that they present the Oscars as this prestigious event, we now know that members are playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo with the nominees. According to an article on Variety, the Academy is going to be digitally tracking through the Academy screening room what members have actually watched the entire movie. Which is great, but that's not really proving that someone's actually watching it. I mean, we've all taken those required seminars at work that we kinda play in the background as we do our actual job. Now, if you attend a screening, members will submit a simple form online stating when and where they saw the film. All of this is still based on an honor system, and when I think of Hollywood, I think of honor. But what astounds me is that this is the easiest requirement. All you have to do is watch some movies. And these people who love their craft, who are artistes, they can't be bothered to do just that. This is your industry, folks. I would do it for free. I am doing it for free. You know, for an industry that's been hit really hard over the past couple years, between writers' strikes, actors' strikes, COVID, production has not recovered yet, especially in Los Angeles. And something like this is just another black eye on the industry. If you're not going to take your movie seriously, your award season seriously, why do you expect that fans should? On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. In this episode of the podcast, I'm rewatching and reviewing Roadhouse from 1989. It was directed by Rowdy Herrington, who helmed Gladiator, not that one, the coming-of-age boxing drama, the Bruce Willis police procedural, Striking Distance, and thriller A Murder of Crows, with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Tom Berenger. The screenplay was co-written by R. Lance Hill, who scribed Actioner, The Evil That Men Do, crime drama 8 Million Ways to Die, and Steven Seagal feature Out for Justice. And Hilary Henkin, who penned drama Blue Heaven, action comedy Fatal Beauty, crime drama Romeo is Bleeding, not that one, and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Writing, screenplay based on material previously produced or published for Wag the Dog, shared with David Mamet. It stars Patrick Swayze as James Dalton, renowned for his unique ability to blend tough guy resilience with emotional depth. Swayze rose to fame with his iconic role in Dirty Dancing, becoming a household name as the brooding yet sensitive dance instructor, Johnny Castle. His portrayal earned him widespread recognition and a loyal fan base, marking the beginning of a string of memorable roles in both romantic dramas and action films. Swayze solidified his star power with films like Roadhouse and Point Break, portraying the charming yet dangerous ex-surfer and criminal mastermind Bodhi. Despite the physicality and tough guy roles that defined his career, Swayze also demonstrated his talents for subtle performances in films like Ghost, which became a massive commercial success and earned him a Golden Globe nomination. His role as Sam Wheat, a man tragically killed in reaching out to his grieving partner, captured Swayze's ability to balance vulnerability with strength. Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Swayze faced personal challenges, including a battle with pancreatic cancer, which he publicly fought while continuing to act, notably in his final role in the TV series The Beast. Patrick Swayze's legacy endures, not just for his iconic roles, but for his unwavering dedication to his craft, his warmth as an actor, and the lasting impact he left on pop culture. Roadhouse also features Kelly Lynch, Sam Elliott, Ben Gazzara, Marshall R. Teague, and Red West. So let's jump into it. This is what I remember. I honestly don't remember much about this film, other than one man, Terry Funk, who is not a bad actor. I think I remember most wrestler cameos in movies, so it shouldn't be surprising that he's the one that pops into my head. Now I'm heading off to watch the movie. This is what I forgot. Roadhouse follows James Dalton, a philosophy-quoting bouncer with a mysterious past, who's hired by businessman Frank Tilghman to clean up the rough-and-tumble Double Deuce, a bar in a small town in Missouri known for violence, rowdy patrons, and criminal activity. With his cool demeanor, martial arts skills, and unique approach to handling violent situations, never strike first, but always ready to defend, Dalton quickly gains the respect of the staff and patrons, but his arrival sets off a series of violent confrontations with ruthless crime lord Brad Wesley, who hires a recently fired Double Deuce employee to attack Dalton. As Dalton becomes embroiled in the town's dangerous criminal underworld, he forms a romantic bond with a local physician, Dr. Elizabeth Clay, and begins to uncover the extent of Wesley's power and corruption. Here's a quote without context. "I want you to be nice, until it's time not to be nice." Roadhouse is often regarded as a quintessential cult classic, known for its over-the-top fight sequences, iconic one-liners, and the magnetic presence of its lead actor, Patrick Swayze. It has all the markers of an 80s action film: a mysterious man, a corrupt town, dangerous criminals, brutal brawls, and a romantic side story thrown in. However, beneath its action-packed exterior, the film presents a layered exploration of themes such as redemption, masculinity, philosophy, and the price of power. The central character, Dalton, is portrayed as more than just a muscle-bound martial arts expert. He's a deeply introspective man with a philosophical outlook on life, which contrasts sharply with the chaotic environment around him. His approach to conflict, rooted in the teachings of a don't start fights but finish 'em mentality, demonstrates an ideal of self-discipline and control. The film also explores themes of masculinity, often placing it under the lens of violence and domination. Dalton, despite being a physical powerhouse, is presented as an idealized form of masculinity, controlled, disciplined, and capable of handling physical and emotional conflicts. He exudes a cool, almost zen-like demeanor in the face of violence, setting him apart from the brash, aggressive masculinity embodied by the film's antagonist, Brad Wesley. Roadhouse is also a story of redemption. Dalton's backstory is shrouded in mystery, with hints at a tragic history that led him to become a bouncer. His romantic relationship with Dr. Elizabeth Clay also plays a crucial part in his emotional arc. Elizabeth represents the possibility of a normal life, one free from the violence and chaos that Dalton is constantly surrounded by. The setting is a character in itself. The town is depicted as a microcosm of corruption and decay, dominated by the figure of Brad Wesley, who holds power over the local businesses and the people. The bar, in its chaotic state, symbolizes the broader social decay within the town, while Dalton's influence represents the potential for redemption and renewal. Or maybe I'm overthinking it. Roadhouse is often considered so bad it's good, with its exaggerated violence, over-the-top performances, and laughable dialogue. It's a film that both parodies and celebrates its genre. It's a knowing, self-aware action movie that acknowledges the conventions of the genre, while also subverting them. Through Dalton's journey, the movie presents an alternative vision of what it means to be a hero, one who fights not just with his fists, but with his mind and heart. Now for a little trivial trivia. Patrick Swayze hurt his knee during filming and turned down roles in Tango and Cash and Predator 2, opting for the less physically taxing role in Ghost. Roadhouse was produced by Silver Pictures and distributed by United Artists. The cinematography was captured by Dean Cundey, whose filmography includes time-traveling adventure, Back to the Future, dinosaur flick, Jurassic Park, docudrama, Apollo 13, and was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Cinematography of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was edited by John F. Link, who worked on action film Commando, family sports flick The Mighty Ducks, adventure The Three Musketeers, and comedy A Low-Down Dirty Shame, and Frank J. Urosti, known for sci-fi actioner RoboCop, exotic thriller Basic Instinct, and rock-climbing heist Cliffhanger. The pair were nominated for a Best Film Editing Oscar for Die Hard. The score was composed by Michael Kamen, who wrote the music for fantasy adventure Highlander, cult classic Adventures in Babysitting, buddy cop film Lethal Weapon, and superhero flick X-Men. He was nominated for 2 Best Music Original Song Oscars for Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman from Don Juan DeMarco, and Everything I Do It For You from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Both were sung by Bryan Adams and co-written with Mutt Lange. The soundtrack featured songs by the Jeff Healey Band, Crusados, The Crew Cuts, Bob Seger, and Wilson Pickett. The runtime is 1 hour, 54 minutes. It had a budget of $15 million and grossed $61.6 million at the box office. A remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal was directed by Doug Liman and released in 2024. On the Ski Index, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. If you've seen Roadhouse and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattForgotThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post throwback clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Forgot That Playback. Tears for Fears, formed in 1981 in Bath, England, is one of the defining bands of the 1980s. Known for their lush, atmospheric sound that combines new wave, synth pop, and mod influences. Led by Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith, the duo achieved massive commercial success and critical acclaim with their distinctive melodies and socially conscious lyrics. Their career, marked by both triumph and turmoil, has spanned multiple decades, with their influence still resonating in modern music. Their debut album, The Hurting, was a breakthrough, touching on themes of emotional trauma, psychological struggle, and the impact of childhood was both introspective and haunting. The single Mad World became an immediate classic, while Change and Pale Shelter solidified their status in the UK and beyond. It reached number 1 on the UK album charts, but stalled at number 73 on the US Billboard 200. Tears for Fears' second album, Songs from the Big Chair, was a game changer. The album was drenched in synthesizers, big hooks, and anthemic choruses, perfectly capturing the 1980s zeitgeist. With its layered production and cinematic scope, it became one of the decade's defining albums. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, with its commentary on power and control, became a global hit, topping the charts in multiple countries and earning them international recognition. Shout also resonated deeply, becoming another powerful anthem of resistance and emotional release. The ballad Head Over Heels, with its interesting music video, was the 4th single released. The album hit number 1 on the Billboard 200 in the US and cemented the band's status as one of the era's biggest artists. However, behind the scenes, tensions between Orzabal and Smith were growing. The pressures of success, creative freedoms, and personal strains began to take a toll. The band's third album, The Seeds of Love, was a departure from their earlier synth-heavy sound, embracing a more eclectic mix of influences, including elements of progressive rock and 1960s pop. Produced by the legendary Chris Hughes, it was an ambitious album featuring grand, lush arrangements and a more expansive sound. Sowing the Seeds of Love was a rallying cry for social change and an homage to the late 60s idealism. Though the album was a commercial success, charting high in the UK and US, it featured deeper, more personal themes and marked the beginning of the band's first real fissure. Tensions between Orzabal and Smith escalated, leading to Smith's departure from the band in 1991. For the next decade, Orzabal focused on solo material under the Tears for Fears banner, releasing Elemental in 1993 and Raoul and the King of Spain 2 years later. Both were well received critically, but they did not match the commercial success of the band's peak years. In the early 2000s, the duo reunited, leading to Everybody Loves a Happy Ending, an album that sought to capture the magic of their 1980s heyday, while also incorporating a more contemporary pop sensibility. Since then, the band continued to tour and release music. They've performed at major festivals and worked on new material, with their music remaining both timeless and deeply relevant. Tears for Fears' impact on the music industry is undeniable. Their ability to merge introspective, personal lyrics with expansive, radio-friendly sounds made them one of the most important bands of the 1980s. They are often credited with helping shape the landscape of that decade, alongside other acts like Duran Duran, The Cure, and Depeche Mode. I've selected a couple of their biggest hits, and they're all available in the Matt Forgot That Playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Who Done It. It was a reality competition series that aired on ABC in the summer of 2013, blending mystery, crime-solving, and elimination-style gameplay. The premise of the show revolved around a group of 13 contestants who were invited to a luxurious mansion where they had to solve fictional murder mysteries in order to avoid being eliminated. But one of the participants is the actual murderer, and their goal was to mislead the others and avoid detection. Each week, the contestants were presented with a new murder, which would revolve around the contestant that was eliminated in the previous episode. The show's host and butler, Giles, guided the contestants through each murder mystery. They would have to investigate 3 crime scenes, with the contestants using their wits and detective skills to figure out how the person died, and ultimately, in the final episode, who was the killer. What was most interesting about the show was that the contestants take part in the recreations of their murders. A lot of it was staged, but the outcomes were legit. Though my only complaint was that sometimes the contestants were a little over the top with their reactions, because ultimately, they knew it was fake. Except for the audience. Starting in episode 2, they actually showed the person who had died alive and well during the end credits, because after the first episode, there were people online who actually thought these contestants were being taken out, literally. I mean, you have to be really dumb, but we are talking about Americans, and look where we are. And I do have to give the contestants a little leeway, because in one episode, a person was literally lit on fire. Of course it was a stunt person, but still, when someone comes running out of the house and they're engulfed in flames, yeah, you might react to that. The show was from the mind of Anthony Zucker, creator of CSI Crime Scene Investigation, and producer on all its 37 spin-offs. Now look, I am not a reality show person, but these type of shows definitely interest me. It is reminiscent a bit of The Mole, where one person was sabotaging the group. There was also a show called Murder in Small Town X back in 2001 that was a little darker and the gameplay was a bit confusing. But this is a little more fun and campy. Who Done It combined elements of traditional crime drama with the suspense of a reality competition, creating an intriguing, suspense-filled experience for viewers. Although the show only lasted for 1 season, it earned praise for its innovative format and unique premise. Episodes are available on YouTube. The sound is a little low, but it's the best that we got. I'm glad it's preserved. It's worth the watch, so check it out. That's all for this edition of Matt Forgot That. Thanks for listening to me reminisce. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, Use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the rewatch and review. It was directed by Rowdy Harrington. The album was drenched in synthesizers, big hooks, and anthematic courses. Crime drama, 8 million dies to aid in the death. The cinematography was captured by Dean Cudley. Cudley? No, he's not Cudley. He's Cudley. Ooh, I better pronounce that correctly.